friends, lovers, and all of the others. Welcome to another episode of Pod from the Bunker. If you're joining us on Twitch right now where we record this live, thank you for being here. I appreciate you very much. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can follow me on Twitch. It's Kev from the Bunker. Everybody, the socials are popping up right here below me. I appreciate you joining us. I started this podcast just to learn about other streamers, other creatives, other musicians mostly, but I have had other creatives on, as you've seen in our past episodes. If you watch on YouTube, everything is posted up there. You can like the videos, subscribe to the channel, would really help me. And if you have any questions for the artists that I did not ask, post them in the comments. And when I have them back on, I will ask them. And yeah, all my Twitch fam, thanks for being here today. I appreciate it. Today we have Tony Smiley. He's also known as the Loop Ninja. I found him on Twitch when, a bunch of us full-time musicians who were out there playing in the bars and the pub scenes had to turn to Twitch, and we hit it off. We are one and the same, if you will, except for I don't loop as well as him. He was in the actual Boss Loop Station competition years ago, so I'm going to talk to him a little bit about that. We're going to pick his brain a little bit, and he's going to play some of his original tunes for us, so thank you for being here. And let's bring him into the show right now. Where do I have to hit here? Boom. Drum roll, Mr. Tony Smiley, you're here.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you for joining us today, dude. You're going to turn my camera a little bit here because it's never on center. You're a legend, man. You're an absolute legend, a Loop Ninja, and I'm a huge fan of yours, dude. The stuff you do, the vibe you put out on your stream is absolutely amazing, and you've been a musician for a long time. How long have you been performing?
Gosh, I don't know. I've been performing for a long time. If I tell you how long I've been performing, then I'm going to give away how old I am.
Okay, don't tell me that.
It's been a long time. I think my first actual band, like not school performance, but actually with like my friends' band. We're a group of people, just friends. I believe I was in like 8th grade.
Okay.
Yeah. So a long time, man. Time.
Right on. What is music to you, man?
What is it's essential is what it is. It's in me. I don't even know. It's like asking what is water to me, like I can go without it for a couple hours, I guess. And then
right. Speaking of which,
and then thirsty. I need it.
Yeah. Well, that's a good answer, but like, how has it affected your life? Like, I mean, obviously it hits you in the spot, and how does music affect you emotionally, physically?
Well, I mean, from a really young age, dude, it's been it's been a really important part of my life. I mean, it's always been an emotional connection. I mean, ever since I can remember, I wanted to play music. I mean, I think I was 2 years old when I realized I wanted to play drums. Like that was my first instrument that I wanted to learn how to do was drums. And I don't remember if it was I heard, like I just recognized on a song that there was drums, or I have a feeling I saw somebody play. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to play drums from a really young age, and then I started playing drums at about 10 years old. I got this cheap, drum set that my parents got me from a garage sale, and started playing then, man. And then I just picked up other instruments along the way. But yeah, music has always been. I always knew that that's what I wanted to do.
So, like, you got some sort of feeling when you first performed on those drums, or like, because at 10 years old, it's hard to keep a kid focused on one thing. You must have really enjoyed that.
Oh yeah, dude. No, like that was. I mean, I wanted a drum set for a long time, and the reason why my parents finally decided to give me a drum set was I had actually created this fake drum set out on the wood pile that we had. I'd moved all these logs and set them up with, I had, pan lids and everything all set up outside, and I had some sticks, and I had even had a box that I put down for like my kick drum and everything, just so I could at least pretend like I was playing drums,
That's amazing. These are the stories that I do this show for, man.
Yeah. And then they got me this drum set, and it's funny, they showed up one day. They'd been out garage sailing, and they come back home with his drum set, and I instantly was just blown away. And it was just this kind of pieced together, like the hi-hats were like this big around, you know, like they were toys, you know.
They sounded like pot lids.
Oh yeah, but it was a working hi-hat stand, you know. So I like, and so I just went, you know. So my parents, you know, we had the house, we had the garage, and then we had a shop that my dad worked on cars on, and then at the very back of the shop was where my drums were. So the house is way up here, you know, like
farthest
a half an acre away, and 3 buildings away was my drum set. So it was perfect for me because I could just go out there and just bang the shit out of these things and learn how to do it without bugging anybody. You know, it was perfect. And I had this old 8-track player that I don't even know why it was out there, but I you know, I just kind of dug through all the old shit that we had, and I had found this 8-track player, and my older brothers, they had left a box of 8-tracks, 8-track tape. For those of you who don't know, for those of you kids out there that don't know, 8-tracks are like these big giant tapes, you know, like, and it was so funny the way 8-tracks worked, because it would just, the song wouldn't come to an end, but it would come to the end of that track, and he would have to skip half. Do you remember that, Kevin? Do you ever?
And I think for the kids, the best thing to explain it is kind of like a Nintendo console, like a Nintendo game. Like you jam it in like a Nintendo game. It's a big gray game almost.
Like clunky thing,
Yeah. So, that's wild. So you were playing, I was going to ask you how you learned, because I learned guitar late from the internet, but you, like, no internet. You were playing with an 8-track and a garage sale kit, and you just played along.
Well before internet, dude. And so, so I would just sit there, and they were old Kiss, you know, it was Kiss.
Yeah, man, big rock.
And Led Zeppelin, and, you know, and then just some other just random shit, some like early Billy Joel and just shit like that. And I would plug in, and I would tie a little tie around my head, you know, these big headphones, and tie around my head to keep them on. And just fucking rock, dude. Amazing. I mean, I would blisters every night. I mean, I would go for hours.
That's how you do it, man. That's how you would build yourself as a musician back in the day. Like, there was none of this, like, you do a TikTok video and you're on tour now. Like, it's fascinating the way that technology has changed things. So when you did get to the internet, how did that change your path as a musician? I don't mean specifically Twitch, but like early internet, just learning songs, getting yourself out there, self-promoting, just how the internet helped indie musicians. How did that really change your trajectory?
Well, it just made things a lot easier as far as promoting and whatnot, and you know, just, you know, I didn't take full advantage of the internet early on, because I wanted to be a working musician, right? Like, I was hitting I'm from the era of making flyers, paper flyers, hanging them up, even fucking sending out mailers, like snail mail mailers.
Yeah, I was literally going to say, how did it change from hanging posters on telephone poles to... Yeah.
Well, a lot less trips to Kinko.
Yeah.
You know, like,
and praying for no rain.
Yeah, right. Totally. But yeah, you know, it's a great tool. It's a great tool. And I feel like I could have probably done better early on. But, you know, I was just so engulfed in just playing that I wasn't very good at promoting and taking advantage of all that.
It's very hard to adapt when something that massive comes along, and like I'm trying to do it now, and I'm trying to take full advantage of it. And I see you are too. You're doing everything. Technology starts out with a looping machine before even most of the internet stuff going on. So talk to me a little bit about your loop journey and how you got on this Boss loop thing and got on the competition. Like, I watched those YouTube videos years ago, and I was like, whoa, these guys are my heroes.
Yeah, man. So I'd been in a bunch of different bands, you know, all throughout, you know, starting 8th grade, you know, and we had, you know, in high school we had bands, and, you know, we'd rent out Grange halls and, you know, all that shit. Before we could get into the bars. I mean, you know,
I was on
And
the cusp of that too, man. I'm a little bit, I don't want to give anything away, but I'm a little younger than you, but I'm not that young. I definitely
right,
put posters on telephone poles and prayed for no rain. So,
right.
yeah. But sorry, onward.
But so we I'd been in a bunch of different bands, and they never stayed together. You know, they just never worked out. None of us were mature enough, and you know, I'm sure I wasn't the easiest person to work with, you know, because
You sound a lot like me, man.
I have visions, you know, and it's
Yeah.
hard to like compromise on those visions. I'm better now as I'm older, right? Like
Yeah.
being married and having kids and shit like that.
You
Like
gotta share.
I've learned to
Yeah.
compromise,
Yeah,
right?
share responsibilities and visions. Yes.
Yeah. So it's not all about me, you know. But back then it was all about me.
Yeah.
So
This was a way you could take your drumming and guitar and everything and do it all and like just forget hiring these guys.
Yeah, so I ended up, you know, they were advertising these loop pedals, and it was the early, you know, the Boss RC20.
Yeah, just the two pedals.
Where it's just the two pedals. You could basically, all you could do is just build a loop and then stop it.
Yeah.
And start it. Like you couldn't even take off the last loop. Like that's all you could do. But they were advertising these things as like practice tools, right? They were advertising these like, oh, you can just, you know, you can play your guitar riff and then you can solo over the top and practice your solos. And I was like, no, you could do more than that. You know, like if I had a mixing board, I could do all this shit. And then I had heard somebody had told me about this guy that was doing that. And everybody, you know, anybody who's in the looping or any old school loopers know of this guy named Keller Williams. Who's you know, he was in like the hippie jam band scene, really great like slap guitar player, and but he was doing these looping things with the boomerang looper, and so a friend of mine, like right as I was thinking about doing this looping thing, my friends were like, oh, you got to go check out this dude. So I went and checked him out, and I liked what he was doing. I thought that's really cool, and so I had this old car that was starting to fall apart, and I was like, you know what? I'd rather have a loop pedal. So I sold my car and bought a loop pedal.
Dude, your story is so rad. This is why I do this show, man. I love this. Okay, onward. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it was great, man. And I ended up buying that loop pedal, and you know, it started out just guitar and microphone. It was an acoustic guitar and microphone. You know, I was doing like, you know, the beats all on the guitar. Mm-hmm. Oh, and an octave pedal, so I could do a bass line on the guitar.
Cool.
And then I ended up upgrading to a little bit better pedal. That it was the 20 XL, which was still the two pedal one, but you could take off the last loop, and I'm like, holy shit! And you could put on that last loop. So
you're losing it. One layer.
Blew my mind, right? I was like, oh shit, like,
yeah,
you know, and actually, it was that pedal where I really started gigging a lot doing this, and I believe I was only on that pedal when I quit my day job and just started doing music full time.
Well done, man.
Yeah, dude. I took the leap, you know.
That's a creative thing to have to do, you know. You're trying to do it without a band because it's not as financially feasible, and then you find this new tool and you actually are innovative with it. You're like, oh, I can do more than just jam over this, and you really took it to a new level, man. That's very interesting, man. It's a good way to. You're a smart fellow.
Oh, thanks, man. I mean, dude. I mean, I think about music all the time, you know, like, and with this. With the looping thing, I love the puzzle part of it. Like I love thinking about I just love thinking about the how it's going to be put together, and then how I can take it back apart and create, you know, all this, you know, these peaks and valleys and shit. Yeah, you know, without it just being the same thing over and over again, which essentially it is.
Yeah.
Or at least it was for a long time. You know, now with the new loopers, I have even more where I can do like A and B parts without taking forever. And that was one thing that I wanted to do early on, because there were a couple of other people that were starting to do this looping thing shortly after I started doing it, or around the same time I was doing it, and I was watching them, and their loops took a really, really long time to go, right?
Yeah, it takes
And
a while to set them up. Yeah.
and I learned, like on Twitch, it's not that big of a deal because people are just chilling, right?
It's
Twitch
part of
is
the
pretty
thing,
laid back.
yeah.
You talk to the chat while you're building loops, and like
Yeah, it's laid back. I get it. It's a different kind of vibe than being in a room full of people who are kind of sitting there almost waiting.
right. You got to get your shit together, and you got to get to the meat of that song like fucking fast, or you're just
Yeah.
gonna lose. Especially if it's like a dancing crowd, right? If it's
Of course.
and my stuff. I mean, it's pretty upbeat.
Hell
and, like,
yeah.
You
You can dance
dancey
to
and
it.
whatnot.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, man. Like, I want to talk more about this and about the boss competition because it's very interesting how you've like evolved from literal, stumps
Yeah, right.
to a kit to like the first pedals and whatnot. But I would love you to play an original song. You do a couple originals with loops and stuff. Can we get you? Can we get you to pull
man.
one off? What's this song about? Maybe give us a title and a little bit of intro, and I will give you the full screen here. All
right.
Just let me hit the full screen here for you, and you can introduce the song and just go right into it.
Right on, dude.
All right, dude. I'm gonna mute myself so you can have the floor. Feel free. It's your stage, dude. Do your thing. All right.
Awesome. All right. Yeah. So this song right here is it's a love song. I write a lot of love songs. I actually wrote this early pandemic, and it's called Lockdown. It's about my lovely wife, and yeah, it goes like this. tell me what is on your mind. Don't leave me behind. Time is of the essence. Baby girl, you know our love is kind. I can read your signs. My present is my present. I said nobody's promised tomorrow. We can't waste another day. I said nobody's promised tomorrow. Let me love you. Let me love you today. Oh, 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 oh. Let me love you today. Oh, 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 oh. Baby girl, you know these times are crazy. The air is thick and hazy, but in the dark you shine, shine, shine. We could be locked down forever. Leave this place I would never, without you by my side. I say nobody's promised tomorrow. We can't waste another day. I said nobody's promised tomorrow. Let me love you. Let me love you today. Oh, 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 oh. Let me love you today. Oh, 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 yeah. Nobody's promised tomorrow. Can't waste another day. Say nobody's promised tomorrow. Let me love you. Let me love you today. Oh, 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 oh. Let me love you today. Oh, 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 oh. Let me love you today. Let me love you Yeah.
Dude, absolutely killer performance. That is how you loop everybody. So crazy, man. Well done. Great song too, man. Great song. Awesome stuff.
Thanks, dude.
I appreciate that. And you what a performer too. You put on an actual performance, man. You're not just playing the song. There's like real emotion in there, and that's what I live for, dude. So thank you for that. That was beautiful.
You're welcome, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah. So tell me how we got from, taking one loop on and off to being able to do what you're doing now with multiple instruments and a full mixer, and tell me how we got. Let's continue that journey, because I want to get into the whole boss thing, because I was so blown away when I found out you were in that. I was like, no way.
Yeah. Let's see. So we had the RC20 XL, and that was the one that had the one that could take one off, and then And then they came out with the RC50, which
Right.
had 3 phrase banks. So that's like 3 separate tracks. And you could put as many loops on any one of those tracks as you wanted. And you could start and stop all, you know. You could,
Yeah, you had
you could,
3 loopers in one.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. 3 loopers in one, right? And I don't know how I ended up doing it. I think I just saved money from gigging and you know, all my tips or whatever, and ended up just selling my old RC20XL and upgrading to the 50, and loved it, man. It changed everything. I mean, it just
Yeah,
really,
that's a
there was
game
so
changer.
so much more you could do, you know.
How did they get involved in the, like, did Boss reach out to you, or did you reach out to them?
Well, no. So with the loop contest, it's crazy how it worked out. So a friend of mine, who's a videographer, he was teaching a class with these really nice cameras, and he's like, "Hey, I need something to, oh shit, sorry, I need something to video with, you know, teach these people how to shoot with these cameras, and we're gonna do multiple cameras, and then we're gonna edit all together."
Right.
And he's like, "I would love to do a video for you." I'm like, "Oh shit, that's great, man! A free video, you bet." So we went to this cool warehouse and set up, and I did an original song. This was back in MySpace days, because you can see the video at the end of the video. At the end of the video, it's the Anywhere Else video on my YouTube, and it was the one that I entered into the contest. But anyways, at the end of the video, it has like my MySpace address on
We
it.
might
and
even
shit.
we did a reference earlier for DAT tapes, but we also need to do a reference for MySpace children out there. MySpace was the first Facebook. Okay, onward.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, he did the video, and before the video even got back to me, I had read somewhere, like I belonged to like a mailing list or, you know, email list for Boss, that they were doing a loop contest. Mm-hmm. And so they're like, you know, the song has to be, you know, X amount of minutes, blah, 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 you know, an original tune. And so I got the video back, and it's funny too, because the video that he made with the intro and the end, it was like 5 minutes and like 10 seconds or something like that. So I ended up having to cut the very beginning and the very end off just to get it
Under
to get it
5
in there.
minutes, yeah.
Yeah. And so I ended up entering that video in. It's a great looking video, and they, you know, just I've never entered into anything like that. You know, competition's always weird to me. Like, competition in music for me, like I don't know if I could.
Yeah. It's awkward, right?
In me. Yeah. It's really weird. But I was like, well, I'll just try it out and see. And sure enough, yeah, they hit me up. They're like, "Hey, you're one of the finalists. So here's the deal. We're gonna fly you down to LA, and you're performing." We performed at, what is it? It was some music school down there, and there were all these hot shots from Boss and Roland, and you know, the judges, that, like, one of the judges was Andy Summers, the guitar player for the Police.
Yeah.
You know,
I watched these. You can watch these on YouTube still, right? They're still up there, I believe, on the Boss channel.
Yeah.
You got to dig deep on their list, but they are there. Are you on there?
Yeah, I am on there. And dude, it was I was so nervous. I was so nervous.
That's a big stage, man. With those people there, you're gonna put a massive amount of pressure on yourself. There's no doubt.
You know,
how old are you? If you don't mind, you don't have to answer if you don't want to. But like, I'm just curious because like at certain ages, like that's like.
Yeah, I don't remember. I mean, gosh, it was, you know, 13 years ago or some shit like that. It was a while ago. So, and I was also newly sober at the time.
Okay.
So like, you
So
know,
you used to lean on the old drink.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And many other things, but yeah. So I you know, when you know, before this, I wouldn't have been nervous at all.
Right.
I would have just been shit canned.
This is a great test for your new character, though, man.
Dude, yeah. Anyway, so I get there, and I'm meeting all the other all the other loopers, and everybody's cool and everybody's nervous, and I go to plug in my stuff to do a little warm up, and my distortion pedal just takes a crap on me.
Oh, of course it does. We've all had this, like your biggest show, and then there's just technical. I've had that. Literally, I had labels showing up, and my guitar player had a nightmare of a problem. It's like, oh, you got to be kidding me! Today of all days.
Yeah, I know. These are the tests
that
we get put through, right?
Yes.
So my pedal just farts out on me, and that's part of my show, but Phil Stendek, he's also a streamer here on Twitch. I don't know, do you know Phil?
Yep. We've talked to him before. Yep.
So that's where I met him.
Yes.
I met him there at the Loop contest, and he was really cool, man. He was like, dude, I got a soldering iron. I'll help you put this together. And if it doesn't work, you can use my distortion pedal. Like, really, really cool. Anyway, so they did you had to draw straws to see who goes first. And I had to go first.
Oh, man, right? You're already losing it.
Oh my God. So, and I've never in my life experienced like cotton mouth from nerves.
Oh yeah. I get it doing this show.
Dude, like all of a sudden, like out of the blue, my mouth was crazy. I mean, I couldn't
even talk. Yeah, your lips
just cotton balls in there, like
your lips are sticking to your teeth. You're like, what is happening right now? This is a nightmare.
Yeah. And I'm looking down there. There's Andy Summers from The Police. I used to watch him on MTV.
Yeah.
And then a few other just like really badass.
So the pedal got repaired, and you got some water.
Pedal got repaired. I got some water. I decided I was going to do a different song than the song that I did for the video, which looking back, I wish I would have not done that. I wish I would have done that song. I knew it better. Anyways, it was a cool experience. Like Andy Summers was like, hey, dude, I don't, he said something like, I didn't know what to think about this looping thing, but You
changed his mind.
You made me a believer. That's what he said. Those were his words.
That is super powerful, dude. So that you're never getting rid of the pedal now. Now that's the journey. Like that is like, this is it. No bands.
Yeah, I don't need a band.
Kidding me? Andy Summers just said, "Don't get a band," basically.
Right. Yeah.
Sometimes I ask people like, what is the what is the balance between finances and being an artist? But like, can you tell me how you kind of took this looping thing and you went full time with it and you started to, make a living out of it? How did you do that? And is that a battle for you still to this day? Or have you accepted all of this, accepting money for art and originals versus covers and all that stuff? Just talk to me about that whole thing.
Yeah, right. That was a whole thing. Because for the first number of years, I did maybe, in a 2 or 3 hour show, I would do maybe like 3 covers, right? And the rest was originals or even improvs, like just making shit up. Because I had this,
dude.
I had this like, I'm an artist and I don't want to play covers and, like, I don't know. I definitely had an attitude about it. But then as I've gone along, I've really enjoyed learning other people's songs, putting my own take on other people's songs, and just learning, in this business. Like I have I think 5 or 6 albums out online, and I sell them, and people like them. I have a Spotify and all that shit, So streaming has changed that whole thing. I used to sell CDs at every show. Yeah, every show I was selling CDs, man. Like, and then streaming just changed it all. And dude, when you're not a big time musician that's getting millions of plays, streaming doesn't pay shit.
Yeah, no, we're not talking about live streaming on Twitch, by the way, which I was confused with. But
no, Twitch is great.
Yeah,
Twitch is great.
No, and I'm not. Yeah, and like again, it's just like there's no possible way That it's
Yeah.
like, and like honestly, when I was selling CDs, even just a couple of years ago, I don't carry them around anymore, but I was a couple of years ago, and like people buy them more out of a token of appreciation. It's almost like a badge. It's like a
Yeah.
sticker. It's like a patch, if you will. So like I don't understand, you know. Anyways, yeah, it's weird that you can't get the same out of streaming in any way, shape, or form. Even if no one's going to listen to that CD ever, they are never going to listen to it. They don't even have a CD player, but they bought
Right.
that CD from you anyways.
I want you to sign it and all that shit.
All that
right?
shit, man. It's just part of the whole deal, I guess. I mean, other people won't understand this because we're a little older, but yeah, man. So, what do you consider success as a musician then?
I just think I think if you're happy doing it and you're able to pay the bills, man, like that's, for me, I feel pretty good about that. Like
Yeah.
I haven't had to have a day job in 16 years.
Good for you, sir.
Yeah, when my kid was born, I quit working my day job and I just was like, I'm just gonna do music, and it makes me really proud to know that like that's the only job he's ever seen me do. You know?
Yeah, man. And that, like, I consider myself, I don't want to be weird about it and give myself a pat on the back, but if you don't have another job and music is your full-time job, I think you're one in a million, and you really need to recognize that about yourself.
Yeah, dude, we're the journeymen, dude.
Yeah.
We're not the Biebers. We're not that shit. Like we're the journeymen. We're the long haulers, dude.
We just want to pay the bills.
And I have a lot of, I feel really proud about that,
Yeah, man,
I
good for
really
you.
do. And I've had some amazing experiences and met amazing people like you and just, just had some really, really fun. I'll play a giant show at a fucking festival with like 10,000 people. And then I'll play a winery with 40 people or 30 people, you know, and
yeah, man.
they're both amazing in their own way, right? Like,
Of course.
because it's about your connection to the music. It's about your connection to the people that you're playing for or with or around, like, and just like Twitch is really cool because I've met some people. I don't know what they look like. I don't know their real names.
Yep.
I don't know where they sit, politically or any of that shit, because it doesn't matter. All it matters is how you are in that moment, in that space, right? Like how you are right there. And some of these people are like some of the greatest people I've ever met, and I have no idea what they look like.
Yeah. You know what I find is different about doing what we did previous to the pandemic to Twitch is that when I was in a room or a winery, like I'm setting the vibe for all 40 people at one time. And when I'm on Twitch and someone requests a song, I'm just kind of trying to send that vibe to that household. And it's like I will jump from the most absurd song that I would never do live. So I think that's really interesting as well, is like you can take your time building loops and talk to people, and it's not got the same, like, I don't know, rigid sort of line that you're supposed to follow when you're performing live at a winery or at a festival. You know what I mean? It's a little just more flowy, like you were saying at the beginning there. And I also at the same time think you answered my very first question there when I said, what is music to you? And you said, well, it's both of those gigs are great in their own right because I get to play my music. I get to play. It's about the connection to the people that you're playing with or for, and for yourself, man. And so, yeah, you kind of answered the very first question there with that answer, I think. And I don't know. I'm one of those guys who gets like, I will cry if I hear a sad song, or I will also get like super goosebumps all over me. Like when music hits me hard, dude, like it hits me too hard where I'm like, turn off the radio. I can't listen to that.
Right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. No, it's a very, very, very powerful thing, man. Yeah, there are certain songs that I can't hear because they're attached to an emotion that a point in time in my life that song was important. I back when I was drinking, I had albums that I called them my drinking buddies.
Right. Yeah.
And they were great albums, man. They're still just awesome albums. They're it's in me, man. And it's I think it's pretty much in everybody. I mean, there's a reason why you go to the fucking grocery store and there's music playing. You go to
Right.
anywhere you go,
Yeah.
there's gonna be music playing somewhere. You know, like it's.
Well, another interesting thing that I always say to people who discount the value of music is I was like, okay, well, let's make it silent for a week. No music in the grocery store. No music at any weddings that happen that week. No elevator music. No music in any of the hot topics that you go into or whatever. And no radio. You can't turn on the radio in the car. There's no music. And then you tell me what it's worth to you. After right? Then you tell me what it's worth to you when you're silent in the dentist's office and there's no Bach playing or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's very different. So, man, do you have another original that you might want to introduce and play for us right now?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you bet.
Okay, well, let me pass you over to the big full screen and you introduce your song. And can I get you actually maybe just to take down your master a little bit? Because I think we were just hitting some ceilings on the songs.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Cool, man. I appreciate it. If you could just give me
the whole mix?
If you could just take everything 15%, that'd probably be pretty cool.
Sounds good, dude.
Thank you so much. All right, Tony, the floor is yours. I'm going to mute yourself and take it away, man.
Okay. All right. Hey. This is another love song, y'all. That's what I do. I like writing love songs. And this one is called Finding Me. And here we go. lovers for many of our lives. It's so right, it's so rich and so true, so honest all the way through, purely divine. love fills my whole body up, overflows down my arm 'cause you feel in my cup. I am glowing with the brilliant light coming from my side 'cause the love of you I could never. I said I just simply know that you're the one I'm supposed to love in this life. I just simply know that you're the one I'm supposed to love in this life. Thank you for finding me. Ooh, finding me. Ooh, finding me. Ooh, finding me. Ooh. I have lost time like change from my pocket to the crack to the table. When I turn to the question, I know that my youth just isn't there. Well, have I wasted it? Have I lived? Have I tasted what the world had to give? Oh, I am broken, yes I have took. I have yet to write my book, but for the first time since the last time I was in true love, I feel the power to rise above. 50 years in the dark of the night, now I see the world in a loving light. Said I just simply know that you're the one I'm supposed to love in this life. Thank you for finding me. Ooh, finding me. Ooh, finding me. Ooh, finding me. Ooh, yeah. My whole body up, overflows out my arm 'cause you feel in my cup. I'm glowing with the brilliant light coming from my side 'cause the love of you I could never. I said I just simply know that you're the one I'm supposed to love in this life. Thank you for finding me. Ooh, finding me. Ooh, finding me.
Dude, another banger. You got me. You got me dancing in my seat every time, man. Which is not something that I kind of do with my music. I'm like more of a one of those sort of sad boy songwriter things. But I love the way you can pull that off, man. Those feel good songs, even even if they're love songs, they feel like a good vibe and it can be danced to. So, dude, your story is so amazing. I love it, and at the end here, I try to ask a couple questions that are a little bit more fun. So, like, if you were to go on tour with one artist who is dead and one who is alive, and you had to pick one dead, one alive, who would it be?
Oh, God. Okay.
Take your time. We have lots of time, man. I don't like when people rush. Think it out.
Well, I mean, I could mix it. I could mix them together.
It's your world. You do whatever you want.
Because I would love to go on tour with the Foo Fighters.
Okay. True.
So,
That's hilarious. But I mean, not hilarious, but like, that's funny that it hits both of them at once now.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Also, like, the guy loses two best friends in one lifetime. Both of them.
Dude.
Like, come on, man. One best friend.
I was midstream when I found out that Taylor died. I was in the middle of a Twitch stream. And somebody hit me up and was like, "Hey, man, I don't mean to bring you down or anything like that, but did you know?" And I I was spent at that point in time. I actually had
I-
to shut down the stream. Like it hit me hard.
I couldn't believe it, but at the next live gig I played, I think I played Tom Petty, Prince, Foo Fighters, and someone else who all were taken from us from the pills of sorts. I mean, as it comes in now, the toxicology report is not looking so positive on, his sobriety and such. Or, who knows? It might have been prescribed. I don't want to make any assumptions. Everything is alleged. I don't know anything. But, that's, I played a bunch of songs and I asked the crowd, does anybody know what all those have in common? And I'm like, those are all rock stars we lost in the last few years to drugs, man.
Right.
It's sad, man. And they're all like songs that were timeless. I played, 5 songs in a row or something, and everyone in the whole room knew every song. And I was like, man, like this is devastating.
Yeah. It's a lot. I mean, I think, I don't know what that may or may not say something about the pressures of being a rock star. You know what I'm saying? Like, it seems like it's a lot of. It'd be awesome, but it'd be a lot of work, man. You'd have to really keep your shit together.
Yeah. The other thing that I like to ask at the end is like, what would be your dream venue to play at as well?
Dream venue to play. I don't know. There's a couple. I mean, you could say the obvious, something like, Madison Square,
of course,
something like that.
Yeah.
But I do like the controlled setup of like Austin City Limits.
Okay, cool. That's a great answer. My answer is Massey Hall, which is a prestigious theater here in Toronto.
Right.
Off-seat venue. So theaters, and then after that, actually, Sir Gooch said it in chat here and Twitch as well. But Red Rocks would be an absolute.
Fuck yeah, Red Rocks.
Yeah,
Red Rocks.
come on, man. That's like It's like
okay. I want to put Red Rocks in my list.
Yeah, man.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. You're allowed. It's your world, man. Do whatever you want. Yeah, man. Yeah. So I thank you for doing this, dude. Like, you're an interesting fellow, and I know we could do this for many, many more hours probably. And I would like to do this again with you and learn a little bit more about your journey and learn more about your songs.
Anytime, man. Anytime. This is great, dude.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll turn it around on you a little bit next time.
Yeah. So I was thinking maybe. So as we do this, I am asking a lot of the questions and sort of like controlling the conversation. But I think if we have guests on for a second time, when they come on the second time, we're actually going to flip the script and we're going to have them interview me the whole time.
Yeah, buddy.
So on your second appearance, when I get a few more in the bank here, well, once we start having second guests on or second appearances, we're gonna do it where you can interview me on the show. So
awesome.
And we'll learn about each other, and it's just fun, man. And
this is great.
Thank you so much for doing it, man. I'm gonna get this up on YouTube, and it's actually gonna be a couple weeks time, but I'll keep you posted on that. And I'm just gonna let you do your thing, and I'm gonna close this show up, my brother, if that's cool with you.
Yeah, dude. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
God.
I appreciate you, man. Big love to you, and hopefully one day we can actually give each other a hug in real life, dude, because I would love that.
Absolutely, man.
It'd be a pleasure.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right. Take care of yourself, dude. Thank you.
All right, later.
All right, everyone. Let me straighten this camera back out here. I am thankful that we got through that with no blips, I think, this time. That was amazing. So if you guys are not following Tony Smiley, his link is in the chat right now for Twitch. It is Tony Smiley on Twitch. So you can find him there. All of the links for everything that Tony does will be in, they'll all be in the links, the description in this video below. If you're watching on Twitch right now, you can go over to YouTube and maybe you could hit the like and then subscribe and all that stuff that's popping up here. If you have a question for Tony that I didn't ask him, please put it in the comments of the YouTube video. That would be super helpful for me. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can actually come over to Twitch and watch this happen live. At Kev from the Bunker is my Twitch handle. We do this on Monday nights at either 9 and or 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I've been doing 2 on the Mondays recently. And we have a lot of great guests coming up. So please stick it out with us. I appreciate y'all. One more big thanks to Tony. And I'm going to hand it over to my mods on Twitch who are actually going to go raid probably another musician right now. Thank you guys very much for putting up with all this stuff. And I will see you again next time. Until then, keep it between the mustard and the mayonnaise, huh?